And I rise today to talk about the Farm Bill and recognize the fine work that the Senate Agricultural Committee did in bringing this bill forward. I am disappointed, to say the least, that this bill is bogged down in legislative games. This bill is too important for folks to play politics with. If you want to talk about a lack of predictability, this is a prime example. But we should be passing a bill, and instead, games are being played. You know, agriculture is the largest industry in Montana. Montana's farmers and ranchers produce the food that powers a nation. Providing an effective safety net for those of us in production agriculture is important, and it's potentially very costly. So it would have been easy for the Senate Ag Committee to write a bill that keeps spending at the levels of the last Farm Bill, but they did not. This bill recognizes the fiscal challenges that we face, cuts more than $23 billion, more than double the amount proposed by Simpson-Bowles Commission. Due to the good work of the Senate Ag Committee, this bill produces meaningful savings and reduces the number of programs at the Department of Agriculture. At the same time, the bill preserves a strong safety net for farmers, invests in conservation and nutrition, and institutes much-needed reforms. I have offered amendments to address the issues that still face farmers and ranchers around the country. The first is my provision to ensure that farmers will be able to buy public varieties of seeds. My amendment will make sure that the Department of Agriculture follows through on the government's commitment to public seed varieties. It ensures that the USDA will devote the resources necessary to support a strong public breeding program and develop public plant and animal varieties. For too long, the Agriculture Department has failed to promote public seed varieties. USDA must support diverse seed research so that farmers can adapt to various growing conditions. My amendment will not solve the problem, but it is a necessary first step to ensure that farmers have a choice of what kind of seeds to purchase. I have also introduced an amendment that takes a proactive approach to protect our country's livestock producers. Back in 2009, Senator Barrasso and I wrote a new law to help livestock producers get compensation for losses related to wolves. Any producer will tell you that they would rather prevent predation than get compensated for a loss. But losses do happen, and a number of states receive some assistance from that program. That's why I've introduced an amendment to help producers protect their livestock from the threat of predation. It's a responsible, common-sense solution to support livestock producers who live near protected populations of predators. And speaking of common-sense amendments, Mr. President, I'm also offering what some have called the biggest package of sportsman bills in a generation. My Sportsman Act combines over 20 different priority sportsman bills. It comes in response to the concerns that I've heard as the chairman of the Congressional Sportsmen's Caucus. And what I hear most often from sportsmen is the importance of access to public lands. That's why this bill dedicates funding to ensure sportsmen's access to some of the best places to hunt and fish in this country. Some folks might ask, why is this important? But hunting and fishing is a way of life in places like Montana. In fact, 1 in 3 Montanans hunt big game, and over 50% fish. For us, it's not just recreation. It's a critical part of our economy. It drives and sustains jobs. So Senator Thune and I, as co-chairs of the Congressional Sportsmen's Caucus, have combined the best bills and ideas from Republicans and Democrats. In addition to preserving access to public lands, it reauthorizes several vital conservation programs and preserves our shooting heritage. That is why it has support from a wide variety of sportsmen and conservation groups. Neither party has a monopoly on good ideas, Mr. President. My Sportsman's Act takes the best from the House bill and the best from both sides of the aisle here in the Senate to move the ball forward for sportsmen and women in Montana and the nation. By adding this sportsman's package to the Farm Bill, we will conserve some of our most productive habitat, pass on hunting and fishing tradition to future generations, and entrusting them to those who care the most about them.